First, let's pay homage to the Venerable Monk Liao Ming. Homage to Master Sakya Tsongkhung, to His Holiness the 16th Karmapa, and to Master Dupten Dorje. Homage to the three jewels of the altar, and homage to the main deity of Homa today. Om Haraya, the red Manohara Vasudhara, the wealth-attracting goddess. Simu Tanchen Chatcho Rinpoche, all Dharma masters, Dharma educators, Dharma teachers, Dharma instructors, Dharma assistants, directors of temples and chapters, all disciples present here and over the internet, and our participating VIPs today are the Madam to Ambassador Daniel Liao, the Taipei rep to Sweden, Dharma Sister Judy, accountant to Buddha School, Dharma Sister Teresa and her husband, producers for Kenny Tiansang Shinton of CTITV Taiwan, Dharma Sister Rebecca Shiachi, and the Voices of Heaven Choir, Dharma Sister Erika Shen, rep to the council from Taipei City, Dharma Sister Chie Hui Ling, and the daughter of the former council of Kaohsiung City, Dharma Sister Wu Meixian, Dr. Ryan Zhuang, good afternoon, everyone. How do you do? First, I would like to announce next Sunday, July 30th, there is no Homa. His Holiness will be in Northern California at the Sacramento Temple to consecrate the altar and to preside over Mahabala ceremony. Welcome, all of you. And 2 Sundays later, on August 5th, Sunday, 3 p.m., there would be Mahapratisara Homa, fire offering ceremony. Today, we had the Homa of the red Manohara goddess. And this is also an uncommon Dharma. In all of the Tantric Dharma, or in the Tantrayana, not very many people, although there may be some, that would perform the red Manohara Vasudhara. So this deity is special to Buddha School. And the primary supplicants for the Red Manohara in Taiwan, there would be probably about 600 primary supplicants. And in Seattle, there were about, how many? 60. In Taiwan Lichang Temple, because Buddha School is the school for winning prizes. Look, we started from the grand lottery, the mega buck in America, that the first prize was won. The first prize of 55 million US dollars was won by Lianhua Soumai. At that time, he practiced the instant money Dharma of the Golden Mother. The first time I came back, I transmitted the Dharma of Golden Mother's instant money. And he practiced it and received some responses. And at night, he dreamt of all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas appearing to shine light upon the couple. Lianhua Soumai. They lived in North Bend in a small house in North Bend here. So they practiced Golden Mother's instant money until they had the vision of Golden Mother and all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas radiating light upon them. And they had the vision of Padma Kumara, who told them that you will have lots of money soon. It's very strange. They often bought US lotteries almost every time, but not like that time. That there was so much radiance and so many visions that they themselves had great confidence and they bought it. Afterwards, the husband had fallen asleep and the wife was about to check the numbers. And when they matched, the wife couldn't say anything, just dragged the husband off the bed and they danced together all night. 55 million US dollars was won by Lianhua Soumai. And then there was another one in America who won the lottery. They were on the news when they got the prize. They were interviewed and was in the news. They were in the news. And ever since, they didn't have peace. And relatives and friends who were never in contact before, they all flew to their door. And all the charities and non-profit organizations all went to them asking for donations. So they had no other way. They made a phone call to the Seattle temple and asked if they could hide at the temple to run away from all the mob. relatives, friends who had never been in contact before, and also the charities. They were scared. So they asked the police, and their car followed the police car. The policeman opened their door, their front door, and took the husband, wife, and children to get on the police car, and they were driven to the Seattle temple. And they were hiding at our dorm on the west by the stream. And they stayed there for 2 months. And we didn't say anything. And then one time they got out. Sometime they attended the group practice, and all of a sudden X came. And X went to find them. From what I heard from Lianhua Somai, X said, I'm building a Lizang temple. And Golden Mother told me that we borrowed your hand to win the lottery prize. Actually, the prize is to build the temple. So just keep some for daily lives and the rest for me. So just basic daily expenses for you and the rest is for me. So because of this, Lianhua Somai escaped again. And he bought a big house, a luxurious house. And I went to their house, Master Lien Ning, and anybody else? Simu didn't go. Only Master Lien Ning and I. And there was another one, maybe De Hui. And they said, Grandmaster appeared to guide them. And then they said they wanted to invite Grandmaster for dinner and make a big offering to Grandmaster. And we dined at, what is it called? Fish Cafe. It's by the beach in Kirkland. And they offered a red envelope to me. Very thin. You know, it's very thin, and I thought it must be a check. And after dinner, we were all very happy. I didn't look inside until I got home. After my heartbeats slowed down, because 55 million US dollars, right? So I calmed my heartbeats and took a deep breath, and then I opened the red envelope, and it was 100 US dollars. But we couldn't blame him because they were born very poor. It was very difficult for them to earn money, to earn a living. They just had a part-time job. They don't have any career. So for them, $100 was a huge offering. Because we can imagine that they don't spend $100 normally. And there was another one who won a huge lottery prize. It seems to be 160 million US dollars. And they made a slightly more offering. But they didn't let anybody know because they knew what happened to Lian Hua So Mai. So they didn't want to be known. And there were many more who won lottery prizes in America too. But in Taiwan, there was even greater. 300 million NT dollars was won by 3 parties, and one of them was True Buddha disciple. And then the famous one was the one won by the singer Sin Long. He didn't tell, but he was found out, and it was on the news too. Before, he often visited Taiwan Temple, and after he won the lottery, he didn't go anymore. He doesn't come nowadays. I didn't know that he won a prize. I only got to know when it was in the news. And he was also True Buddha disciple, and also someone who won 300 million. And also a Brunei person who won Singaporean lottery for 200 million. And many more. One time, Taiwan Temple received a wire transfer of 3 million NT dollars from the bank. When I was receiving hatha and giving blessings, someone threw a yellow envelope from far away. And he shouted, "This is for Grandmaster." He also won the lottery. And when I was giving blessings on the heads, there were several people who told me I won the first prize. Several of them told me that they won first prize. So True Buddha School is truly the school for winning prizes. Seeing so many people winning the lottery prizes at True Buddha School, someone felt sad and melancholic, and that person is X. So she went to buy a lottery ticket. Did you hear this story? Anyone? We have reference from their place. And she bought lottery tickets and distributed to the fellow disciples. And Hoa Chun Fei, did she buy lottery tickets and distribute them to disciples? Many of them. She bought many lottery tickets and give them to the disciples. But if you win the prize, then you have to give the prize to the X temple or X chapter. She bought many lottery tickets, and was it given to everybody? Or everybody paid? Oh, she bought the lottery tickets and then give it to everybody, and everybody give her red envelope. And then if you win prizes, then it has to be given to the X chapter. Many times, many times. But we never heard anyone winning the prize. No, no one. Because we are the school who win lottery prizes. So we should win lottery prizes here. We can't say that they shouldn't, but they don't win anything. So the prize that we won would fill this whole Rainbow Temple. 160 million, 300 million, and many more, uncountable. So Manohara has such ability. And we had a disciple in Thailand, and in Thailand and Southeast Asia, the 4 numbers are popular. And that disciple, a female disciple with a big mouth, that's my impression of her. Every day, she would walk out from her front door and do this. And kept calling on Manohara's name and hook. And she continually won the prizes, the first or the medium or the small prizes continually for 3 years. For number lotteries. You come from Southeast Asia. How many days a time? Anyone knows? Twice a week? And twice a week, and she won prizes continually for 3 years. And I said, oh, you continually won prizes for 3 years. And she said, and I continue to win prizes, she said. So, relying on this deity, Manohara, and every day she does this hook. The mantra is very long. That's Manohara's mantra and Manohara's mudra. And visualize Manohara. That's the Dharma practice procedure. So Manohara is truly great. And what is her name? It's written here somewhere. Oh, a page is missing. There were only 2 pages? The name of the disciple. From the Ji chapter. And her name is very long. It's impossible to pronounce it. Y-N-N-G, Ing.
他每个月平均会有10万到20万的台币的中奖。
Every month, on average, she would win 100,000 to 200,000 NT dollars. And continually, she wins prizes for 3 years. And this deity is at the Western Paradise, the place of Amitabha Buddha. Manohara came from that place. Typically, we say that the richest in the ocean is the Dragon King. On the ground, the richest one is the mountain god. And in heavens, the richest one is the 4 heavenly kings. And in the Buddha lands, the richest one is Manohara, goddess. This is truly great. So all of you practice this deity well, and she can bestow riches upon you, can also eradicate karma, and can enhance your wisdom and your resources. Once you gain spiritual union with this deity, it's the same as you're in spiritual union with Padmakumara and with Amitabha. Then you can gain spiritual response with many deities. Why? Because she has this Vajra hook. With this Vajra hook, she can hook every Buddhas and Bodhisattvas to be in spiritual union with you. And when I made the marriage dedication, I wish that she can use the Vajra hook to hook all the deities and be in spiritual union with all my disciples. Now I would really like to ask Lianhua Somai, where are you now? We don't want your money. We don't want your money, but we really welcome you back to attend the group practice. So you can't let go of practice after you win lottery prizes, right? Because if you don't practice after winning the lottery prize, then you lose too much. We don't want your money, and now rest assured, X will not go after you anymore. So you can come to the Seattle temple now. Someone has met him, Master Lien Wang. He was very pleased to see Master Lien Wang, and they were saying hi to each other. He was full of smiles. And he sent greetings to all of us and joined his palms and greeted us. It's not so good to be hiding after winning lotteries unless he continues to practice at home. Now, let me continue on Lamdre. when one
融入事情，
has penetrated into the four actions,
自
four
解脱
actions,
自身，
the four self-liberated bodies, which are the so-called ultimate fruition of Buddhahood,
清净
which is Lamdre, then all phenomena that appeared is due to the pure wisdom.
万法，尽摄于三种现分。
All phenomena that appear can be divided into the above three kinds of appearances.
四种正行，四种
So four actions are the four right actions.
修行，
So the four spiritual
正当的
cultivations,
修行，
the proper way of spiritual cultivations, four kinds of them. And the four self-liberated bodies. At that time you would attain Nirmanakaya, Sambhogakaya, Dharmakaya, and the
应身
true Kaya, true body.
是应身，
We are all now in Nirmanakaya, physical bodies. Sambhogakaya is the form of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, or light bodies. I mean reward bodies. And when you reach the Dharmakaya, you have no form and no look. And then the true body, that's the Buddha nature.
解脱。
Those are the four kinds of bodies.
谈到解脱这个字，
And liberation.
什么叫做解脱？
Talking about liberation, what is liberation?
这个曾经有一个公案，那么有一个人去见禅师，
There was a Zen koan. Someone met the Zen master
我
and told the master,
没有办法解脱，
I'm miserable. It's impossible for me to let go, to be liberated. And the Zen master replied,
绑
Who
住
held you in bondage?
很简单，我们每一个人都是自己绑住自己。
It's very simple. For all of us, we bind ourselves.
自己绑住
Who else can bind you? We are all bound by ourselves.
大家都跟着这个人生这样子走，
We walk following our human lives.
到就学
When we are
读小
born,
学读初中
then you
读高
study
中读大学
elementary school, high
然
school,
后再来读
um,
研究所、
college,
硕士，
and
拿到
then
博士
graduate school, and even postgrad.
找工作赚
And
钱，
then you look for a job and
再
earn
来
a
就
living,
结婚，
and then you get married,
然后再来就生孩子，
and then have children,
再来你就老了，
and then you
再来
age,
你就死掉了，
and then you die.
这就是人的一生啊。
So that's human's life. That's how it is. One line.
我们其实啊是被工作绑住，
Actually, we are bound by our work, bound by our
另外
earning a
组
living.
织了家庭，
And when you form a family, then you're bound by the family.
都是自己绑住自己啊。
So we are all bound by
你想要结
ourselves.
婚，你就被家庭绑住了。
So if you want to get married, then you would be
你想要赚
bound
钱
by your
就被
family.
工作绑住了。
If you want to earn a living, then you're bound by your job.
你娶一个还不够，
If one wife is not enough for you, and you get divorced and you get married again, and get divorced and get married again,
你自己愿意被绑。
you have been married several times, then you're the one that wants to be
没有人
bound.
教你说被绑，
Nobody asks you
愿意
to
被
be
绑。
bound.
所以这个解脱这两个字啊，最重要的就是说，像我们这个人生当中都等于是被
So
绑，
liberation,
有一样不能被绑，
like our human life, is like the same as a restraint.
有没有解放？
But there's only one thing that you can't be restrained or can't be bound, is your mind.
新的解放才是
If
真
your
正的
mind is free, then that would be the true liberation. This is very important. So I often say that if you attach to whatever that you attach to, then you would be restrained or bound by it. If you have no attachment, then you have no bondage. So in order to be truly liberated, is that you're not attached to anything, then you would be liberated. If you're able to detach yourself of anything, but can you? Sometimes we have attachment toward our wife, or the woman toward their husband, family, or children. And when you have grandchildren, you would be attached to your grandchildren. And for Grandmaster, in this respect, I'm not attached to my children, for Qing or for Qi. Whether they cultivate spiritually or not, it's none of my business. It's their own business. I never force my own children to cultivate spiritually, because if I do, then I would have attachment toward their spiritual cultivation. I'll just let them be. At the right time, they can come to it naturally. Like I consulted spiritually about for Qi, and he would start a spiritual cultivation when he was in his 50s. And Jaden and Qin, they're still young now, and I don't force them to cultivate spiritually. It's up to them. I never talk about spiritual cultivation to them. So I have no attachment whatsoever toward children and grandchildren. And Simu, for Simu, I just hope that she can be healthy and live a longer life than I do. And so she can help me, and she has been helping me all along. So we take care of each other. That now it's not Golden Mother who wake me up, it's Simu that wake me up. She would wake up first, and then she would call me. She would wake me up. This morning, I slept until almost 8, and she said, she tapped on me for how long? For over 20 times before I woke up. See how well I sleep? She tapped on me for over 20 times before I woke up. So every morning she wakes me up. So she takes care of me. That's very good. She's my alarm. She's my alarm clock. And every morning she would prepare my breakfast. When I get to the dining table, the breakfast is ready for me. It was prepared by Simu. And there was a period of time that I prepared a midnight supper for her. I actually cook something for her, and I hope that she's healthy. And she's very capable, like to file the tax returns for both in America, in United States, and in Taiwan. And she's able to do that, but not me. And the tax return documents were like in boxes for like 10 years. They were all prepared by her. I never did any of those, and I don't know anything about it. And she can check on all the bank statements, and she's very capable about the numbers and the currencies, and she's very capable of many things, including things typically handled by men. Like if my machine broke down, I would ask her, or opening the lid of a can, I would ask her, and she's able to do that, to open it. If I don't know where my things are, I would ask her, and she would know. It's very difficult to find such a simu. So I just hope that she would be healthy, and for all the True School affairs. And she read all the documents of True School, including the True Buddha Foundation bylaws. Was all read, reviewed, and corrected by her, and then give it to True Buddha Foundation, returned to True Buddha Foundation. It was all done by her, not me. So all major and minor affairs of the school, all disagreements were all mediated by Simu. Where can you find such a person? It doesn't exist anywhere else. They can't find such a person on earth. She was bestowed by the heavens. So I highly respect her. My slight attachment is that she can be healthy and live a long life. Then that would be my blessing, and also the True Buddha School's blessings. Of course, sometimes she would nag. She nags. But it's unavoidable for a woman to nag. But it's already not much at all. Her nagging is not considered very much at all. So every time she nags, I would be very quiet and just listen. And then when I start to feel repelled by it, then I would stand up and walk away, and then she would follow me. And I would lay on my bed, and she would stand by my bed. And she would start nagging from the ancient time until now, from our dating time all the way until now. All my wrongdoings and mistakes would be reiterated. But this is also rare. It's not easy to listen to it anymore. She doesn't nag very much, so she's not attached to me anymore. So my small attachment toward her is just a little bit, which is her health and longevity. And the rest, I have no attachments whatsoever. Each individual attains what one's practices. I have taught everybody to avert the calamities. It's to spread the right teaching and to resolve the delusions of everybody, the ignorance. Because many people were confused, to resolve confusions by people. So liberation is not very easy. Grandmaster has no attachments. I have no attachments about money. Money is just for game playing. So wealth, sex and fame. I don't want any name and fame. I'm the founder of TBSN School, but all my certificates and all the prizes, I burned them all. You know, all the medals and the prizes, I burned them all. I have won the Youth Literary Prize and Golden Prize and all that. And even the name that I'm the founder of TBSN School, I can let go. So this is liberation. So money or sensualities, of course, you would be pleased to see the beautiful ones, but I'm not attached to it. It comes naturally and it goes naturally. So they come without any expectation and they leave without any attachment. That's all there is. They come without expectations and they go without any strings attached. To me, it's all fine. You come or you go, it's fine. When my girlfriend gets married, I would wish her well. I will not be attached to her. Hey, you were my girlfriend. How could you marry someone else? No. If she's happier marrying someone else, then we should wish her well. That's liberation. Very simple. This is liberation. No attachment. I don't want any name. I am not attached to any sensualities, and the money is just for a game playing. So this is liberation. I still find many people who are very attached. Let me share a joke. The wife of a farmer was hot-tempered. And the wife was kicked to death. And there were many people. Oh, the donkey was very hot-tempered. And the donkey kicked the farmer's wife to death. And there were many people coming, and they said, "Oh, your wife is so popular, how come there were more many?" And the farmer said, "Oh, no, they don't come here for the wife, but for the donkey." You understand? Because they want to bring the donkey home to kick their wives to death. So that means the family was not liberated. It's very difficult to be liberated in a family. If you can be liberated from your family, that's number one. Almost nobody can do that. Everybody is so attached to their family. The tour guide told the tourists, our place is very nice and the air is good and the scenery is good and everybody live a very long life. And not long there was a burial procession and the dead was a youngster. So the tourist asked, didn't you say that everybody live a long life? How come the youngster died already? Because he is the owner of the funeral home, because there was no business, so he died of hunger. This is funny. So the young man who died was the owner of the funeral home, because nobody else died, so he died of hunger. In order to be healthy and live a long life is a good thing. But if you don't have good health and you don't live a long life, what should you do? Just let them be. You're not even attached to your age or longevity. Talking about afflictions. X has been talking about me for 8 years, that Grandmaster Lu will die at 73. Grandmaster Lu will die at 73, and this year I am 73, but I'm not attached to it. It doesn't matter to me at what age I die. Everybody will die eventually. We all have the same faith. Whether you die sooner or later, we all die. It's good enough to live until 73. It's about the same as Confucius. Confucius also died at 73. If I can die at 73, then I would be the same as the famous Confucius. I would be very pleased. It's my honor. Is there any attachment to this? None. The piglet walked into the grocery store, supermarket, and told the boss, when I bought some drinks, you miscalculated by $30. And the boss said, oh, your math is bad. Why didn't you say that earlier? Oh, because when I got home, I returned my money to my mom, and we found out. And the boss raised his voice that you should have said it at the moment, otherwise we cannot return any money. And the piglet replied, or Xiao Zhu, what the name of a person replied that, well, then I will not return the $30 to you. You know, actually, the boss overpaid $30. So this is also attachment about the $30. Can I tell this joke? He gave the shopkeeper an empty box. Huh? Oh, a box. An empty box. And who is this for? It's a girl that I adore. But it's inside. It's empty. Oh, but only I can see it. So what is it actually? It's a play of word of Chinese, so it's like it's my wish for love, but it sounds differently with the box. So this is also attachment. It's difficult to say whether it's attachment or not. For young people, it's very difficult about this matter. Grandmaster never built a temple, and Rainbow Villa became Rainbow Temple. And immediately I asked Lien Yin to be in charge of it. So all under Lien Yin's name. I have no right to manage the Rainbow Temple, but Lien Yin does. And the Taiwan temple, I asked Lamdre master to be in charge of it. I don't want to become an abbot. I'm not interested in any temples, because if you are interested in a temple, then you would be constrained or held in bondage by the temple. So I just keep the happiness to myself and let the sufferings for others. Give the sufferings for others. I have no interest to manage the temple. If you're interested to manage the temple, then go ahead. If you build temple or you want to manage the temple, then you're held in bondage. The same with acts. Acts is in strong bondage. I often attend ceremonies, ask the Zen master, how come my life doesn't go well? And the Zen master give him $100. Can you please build the temple? And the young man said, $100? How could it? And the Zen master replied, so, but what you have done compared to the karma from past lives. So the Zen master said, don't ask for reward for just a little bit that you have done. So don't give up so quickly. So spiritual cultivation is to train your own mind. So your mind is the focus. That eventually you will not be able to find your mind. Then you would be liberated. If you still have any attachment in your mind, then you will never be liberated. Lamdre master has no reputation. You know, if you still talk about your reputation, then have you been enlightened? What kind of reputation to be talked about? I have no reputation. You know, people defame me to be really bad and dirty and small and petty and all bad things thrown, I mean, to be attached to me. It's fine. I don't care, because I don't want any name or reputation or honor. Then I am liberated. If you still care about your reputation and honor and fame and name, then you're not considered enlightened. Then you're just like a dog's poo. Many people cares about their reputations. You know, the Izokan, the weekly one magazine, and wrote an article about someone from Penghu Island, a rich man actually, and my homeland fellow, you know, and when he saw that article in the news, he jumped off the bridge in order to clear his reputation, because he cared for his reputation. He jumped off the bridge to death. Like, I care for my name and reputation. Even the Izokan, the one magazine which was very popular in Taiwan and Hong Kong, wrote many horrible articles about me. I'm all the same. I still have to be woken up by sumo every morning. And I don't have any honor and reputation. Doesn't matter what you say about me. And you say, Sijun, if you have no reputation, then why don't you take off all your clothes to show us? Maybe one day. I don't care. What do I care about? I don't care. Even if I take off all my clothes to show you, you just go,
我看这个笑话不要讲，
there's no need to tell this joke.
可以讲吗？
Can I?
很长哎。
It's a long joke. It's a long joke.
有两个修女，一个是
Two nuns.
毕业的修女，
One
另一个是
is
国际推女系的修女。
graduated from the
他们两个
missionary
赶
school,
回去
and the other one,
黑黑的
mm,
但
and
他们离修道院
they were returning to the monastery, and it's still a long way, a long
你
way.
有没有问另外一个，你有没有注意
And
到后
the
面有
nun
个男人已经跟踪我们有
told the other nun that there was a man following us for 30 minutes and 38 seconds. I don't know what he's up to. And the other nun is studying logic, and she replied, according to your guesses, that he's following us. In that case, the math nun said that he would catch up with us in 20 minutes. And the logic nun replied that we should walk faster. And the nun who studied math said, but at this speed, that he would catch up with us in 1 minute. And the nun who studied logic said that the only way is that we go separate ways. You go that way and I go this way. And then he would not catch both of us. And the man decided to follow the nun who studied logic. And the other nun arrived at the monastery safely, but she was still worried about the other nun who studied logic. And then she saw the nun who studied logic arriving at the gate of the monastery. And then the nun who studied math asked the nun who studied logic, "Oh, thank God you're back. Please tell me what happened." And the logic nun said, "He followed me and something logical happened." So the other nun asked, "What was it?" And then the nun who studied logic said, "He caught up with me." And oh my God, and then what did you do? How did you handle it? And the nun studying logic replied, "Of course, the most logical way. I lift up my skirt." Oh my God. And then how about the man? And he, of course, also did the most logical thing, and he pulled down his pants. And then what happened? Oh my God. And the nun studying logic replied, of course, the nun who's lifting up the skirt would run much faster than the man pulling down his pants, right? So studying logic is very important. She lifted up her skirt, and that man very quickly pulled down his pants. But he didn't know that, little did he know that when the pants was dropped, the nun ran with the skirts up. And of course that man couldn't run very far, very fast, because the pants bound his feet. So that's the benefit from studying logic. And Lamdre is divided into 3 kinds. So when you are liberated, then it's the ultimate fruition of Buddhahood. And this is the pure wisdom. Everything is pure wisdom. At this time, reincarnation, nirvana, and all things are divided into three kinds of appearances. One is impure, the other kind is the sense appearance, and the third kind is the ultimate Buddhahood. And the three kinds of appearances will appear. This is logic. First, impure, and then the sense or spiritual experiences, and finally, the Buddhahood. Om Mani Padme Hum.